Imagine for a moment that each image, each symbol, and each number in the tarot were not merely drawings on paper, but rather codes of energy. That behind every card pulsed a living resonance, an ancestral vibration capable of altering your consciousness and resonating with the invisible forces that structure the universe itself. For centuries, the tarot has been contemplated as an oracle, a tool for deciphering destiny. Yet, what very few understand is that its true purpose is not to predict the future, but to reveal the nature of the soul itself. Each major arcanum is a door, a key that opens a distinct level of consciousness, a frequency that connects your human mind with the divine intelligence architecting all of reality. The ancient initiates knew something we have largely forgotten. The universe is made of symbols, and to understand them is the purest form of awakening. The figures of the tarot, the magician, the priestess, justice, death, the sun, are not imaginary characters. They are archetypal manifestations of universal energy, the movements of God within the human psyche. They are living frequencies, blueprints of consciousness itself. The tarot, at its highest level, is metaphysical alchemy. Each card represents a stage in the process through which divine energy descends into matter, experiences itself through the human being, and then returns to its origin in a state of expanded awareness. It is the journey of spirit, from the pure innocence of the fool to the conscious fullness of the world, an eternal spiral where the soul recognizes itself as creator. But within the 22 major arcana, there exist 8 cards that the ancients considered especially powerful portals. 8 symbols containing the secret of universal manifestation, the precise process by which thought becomes form, energy becomes experience, and intention becomes reality. Through these arcana, you will learn that manifestation is not an external magical act, but an internal resonance, a vibratory state where the soul, mind, and matter pulse at the same rhythm. You will discover how these cards function, not as predictive tools, but as frequencies designed to awaken the divine energy sleeping within you. Prepare to perceive the tarot as never before, not as a deck of cards, but as a metaphysical map of the soul itself. The origin of the tarot lies shrouded in mystery, as if history itself decided to protect its secret. Some scholars link it to the initiatic schools of ancient Egypt, where the sages of Thebes and Alexandria engraved in hieroglyphics the principles of creation itself. Others associate it with the Cathars, the Templars, or Renaissance alchemists, who saw in its images a symbolic way to preserve forbidden knowledge of metaphysics. But beyond dates and names, what is essential is this: the tarot was born as a language of connection between the human soul and the mind of the universe itself. It was not conceived as a game of divination, but as a symbolic table of universal wisdom, a visual representation of the spirit's journey through existence. In its 22 major arcana are hidden the same truths we find in mythology, in sacred writings, and in hermetic treatises: birth, the fall, the quest, transformation, and illumination. To understand the tarot from a metaphysical perspective, we must think of it as a mirror of the cosmic soul. Each arcanum does not describe an external event, but rather an internal state of consciousness. The magician, for instance, is not a historical figure, but the representation of creative thought that gives form to reality. The priestess embodies the inner wisdom and silent knowledge that dwells beyond reason. Death symbolizes the energetic transmutation that occurs when something must die, so that life may continue. These seemingly simple images are vibratory keys. When a person contemplates them, the mind does not merely interpret them, it activates them. In that instant, archetypes begin to resonate in the unconscious, opening channels of energy that awaken forgotten memories of the soul. It is the same principle that Pythagorean schools attributed to number, or the Vedas to the sacred sound of Om. Form, color, and symbol are languages of spirit. The tarot can be understood as a science of the soul, its structure based on universal laws, the law of correspondence, as above, so below, the law of vibration, all moves, all vibrates, and the law of cause and effect. Every action generates a reaction in the energetic plane. Each arcanum is a rung on this cosmic ladder, a movement in the dance between spirit and matter, representing what ancient Hermetic schools called the Great Work, the process through which the human being awakens their divine nature and learns to manifest consciously. To understand the hidden power of the tarot, one must look beyond its symbolic surface and penetrate into its vibratory structure. Each of the 22 major arcana represents a universal frequency, but within this collection exist 8 cards that act as authentic metaphysical portals, emitters of archetypal energy, capable of altering the vibration of the human mind. The first of this sacred collection is the magician, the initial spark, creative consciousness itself. Before the magician, all the universe is malleable. The magician holds the wand toward heaven and the hand toward earth, indicating that thought and word are the bridges between both worlds. On the metaphysical plane, this arcanum represents the affirmation, I am. Every idea, every emotion, every spoken word vibrates as a command in the invisible fabric of the universe. Thus, the magician reminds us that reality is not discovered. It is fabricated. It is energy in its purest state, waiting for direction. Upon the magician's table rest the symbols of the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire, the raw matter from which all existence is constructed. Then comes the priestess, the guardian of mystery. If the magician represents conscious mind, she embodies the silent power of the soul, that which does not need to act to create, but simply to be. Her closed book is the archive of cosmic memory, where every possible experience is inscribed. In the tarot's metaphysics, the priestess teaches that manifestation occurs not only through action, but also through receptivity. Her feminine energy represents the womb of the universe, the space where ideas germinate before becoming real. The priestess whispers, in silence, creation listens to its next form. The third arcanum of this sacred group is justice, the embodiment of universal balance. Her scales and sword do not punish, but adjust. Justice represents the law of cause and effect, the principle sustaining cosmic coherence. Every thought, every act, every emotion generates a wave that inevitably returns to its origin. At this level, justice reminds us that energy always seeks the midpoint, that the universe neither rewards nor punishes, only responds. Metaphysically, this arcanum teaches that internal harmony is the prerequisite for manifesting with power. If the magician creates and the priestess conceives, justice stabilizes creation, anchoring order between heaven and earth. If the first 4 arcana represent the descent of divine energy toward form, the 4 that follow symbolize its ascent back toward consciousness. These are the luminous stage of the process. When matter becomes aware of its spiritual nature, and the soul remembers that its power lies not in controlling reality, but in becoming one with it. The fifth arcanum is the sun, the living flame of awakening. The sun shines upon two figures, reborn beneath its light, representing the instant when consciousness expands, and the soul recognizes that darkness was never enemy, but the necessary stage for light to manifest. Metaphysically, the sun is the vibration of truth. It does not teach, it reveals. It does not seek to illuminate, because it is light itself. This arcanum symbolizes the inner Christ, the divine mind awakening within the human being. When you meditate upon the sun, you activate the frequency of clarity, coherence, and fullness. Everything false dissolves, because light simply transforms shadow. The sun reminds us that true manifestation does not consist of bringing something from outside, but revealing the abundance already within us. The sixth arcanum is the star, messenger of cosmic purpose. Her figure pours water upon earth and river, representing the constant flow between heaven and the material world. The star is the symbol of the soul that has remembered its origin and becomes a channel for divine energy. Metaphysically, this arcanum speaks of resonance. When your inner vibration matches the universe's, reality aligns in your favor. There is no struggle, no effort, only synchronicity. The star is the radiance of active certainty, absolute confidence in the universe's intelligence. To contemplate this arcanum is to open yourself to higher inspiration. Next is the world, the culmination of the journey, the circle that closes and becomes an infinite spiral. A figure dances surrounded by the four elements and four living creatures of the zodiac, symbols of complete balance between material and spiritual. The world represents integration, the understanding that everything is connected and duality exists only in the separated mind. In the tarot's metaphysics, this is the point where the soul comprehends it never left the all. Every experience, even the most difficult, was a movement of the universe within itself. Meditating upon the world, you feel unity with the source. There is no desire, no seeking, because everything is recognized as already fulfilled. And finally, the circle opens anew with the Fool, the eternal traveler, pure consciousness before taking form. The Fool has no number, because it is both beginning and end, the divine energy that precedes and succeeds all creation. It represents the absolute freedom of spirit, the primordial innocence that fears not the void, because it knows the void is the womb of all possibility. In metaphysical terms, the Fool is the eternal I Am, the 0 point where all experience begins and ends. To contemplate this arcanum is to remember that wisdom does not consist in accumulating knowledge, but in daring to be. The Fool teaches us that when we release control, life itself becomes our guide, that the universe does not demand understanding, but trust and surrender. These four arcana, the sun, the star, the world, and the Fool, complete the journey initiated by those preceding them. The sun reveals the inner light, the star inspires from cosmic alignment, the world integrates all polarities, and the Fool liberates the spirit from all constraint. Together they form the ascending circuit of the soul, from the illumination of mind to the expansion of total consciousness, from knowing to being. The tarot, read from this metaphysical vision, becomes a spiritual technology. Each arcanum is a frequency that, when meditated upon, reorders the energetic structure of the human being. The magician ignited the power of thought. The priestess opened access to the unconscious depths. Justice brought equilibrium and balance. Death purified energy through transmutation. And now the sun, the star, the world, and the Fool elevate that refined energy back toward its divine origin. The 8 arcana of metaphysical power describe the anatomy of awakening itself. They are the 8 notes of the universal symphony: creation, intuition, law, transformation, illumination, inspiration, unity, and freedom. These 8 frequencies, when integrated, form a complete circuit of consciousness. Whoever learns to vibrate with them does not merely read the tarot. They live it. And in living it, they become the supreme alchemist, one who transforms the energy of spirit into the matter of miracles. The journey appears complete, yet it spirals eternally upward, each turn revealing deeper truths, each cycle awakening the soul more fully to its own infinite divine nature and creative power. The tarot was not made to remain on a table. It was made to awaken inside you. Each card is a mirror and a teacher. When you look at it with true attention, it does not speak of a distant future. It speaks of the present you are creating with every thought, every emotion, every heartbeat. The arcana are symbolic keys, but their power activates only when you stop seeing them as images and begin feeling them as frequencies living within you. To apply the metaphysical power of the tarot in daily life, begin with a practice of connection. You do not need a complex ritual or an altar, only silence, presence, and willingness to listen. Choose a moment when your mind is calm, ideally at dawn or before sleep, when the boundary between conscious and unconscious softens. Select one card, either the one that draws you instinctively or the one representing what you need to balance. Gaze at it. Do not analyze it. Let it speak beneath language. Notice the atmosphere it creates in your body, the subtle shift in your energy. The tarot works first through sensation, then through meaning. Now bring the threefold gate of manifestation into coherence: thought, emotion, and action. If your thoughts are scattered, your emotions unstable, and your actions impulsive, reality fragments. But when you align these three, the triangle completes and energy flows without resistance. This is the secret the ancients guarded, that consciousness itself is the substance of creation. This is why the ancient initiates called manifestation an art of resonance, not willpower. The universe does not respond to words alone. It responds to vibration. A phrase whispered without presence is only sound, but a decree spoken from the heart becomes a command in the invisible fabric of reality itself. So use the arcana as a compass. Ask, which part of me is speaking through this symbol? What frequency must I activate today to move in coherence with my purpose? Which shadow must I illuminate? Over time, you will realize the tarot is not an external language. It is your own spiritual grammar, the mother tongue of your soul. You do not need to become a fortune teller. You only need to become conscious. Because each arcanum you awaken becomes a living force that reshapes your vibration, your relationships, your choices, and ultimately, your destiny itself. And when you reach that point, you no longer consult the tarot. You become it.